Why did you ignore me, when my heart was standing in front of you completely exposed, trembling like a leaf in a storm? I wasn't just speaking, I was pleading, silently and sincerely, in the only language I knew, love. Every word I wrote, every glance I gave, every moment I waited in silence, was a cry for connection. And yet, I was met with stillness. A stillness that pierced through me sharper than any sword. Tell me, was my love too bold, or was your silence too loud? I offered you my truth, unpolished and pure. I did not hide behind pride, nor did I shield my emotions with layers of titles or tradition. I stripped myself of every royal armor and became a man. Just a man, standing in front of a woman who held the key to his peace. You looked at me, but your eyes did not speak. Your lips did not move. And in that moment, the quiet between us became heavier than a lifetime of distance. Perhaps you thought I would stop trying. That your indifference would push me away. But love does not retreat so easily, not the kind I gave you. I kept writing, kept speaking your name in my prayers, hoping that one day your silence would crack, and even a whisper of your heart would reach me. But you remained still, like a portrait, beautiful, untouchable, and distant. I don't blame you. No, not even now. Because love, real love, doesn't come with demands. It comes with hope, with waiting, with believing. I told myself you were scared. That your silence was a shield, not a dismissal. I convinced myself that you were hurting too, that maybe ignoring me was your way of surviving. But my heart? My heart was drowning in questions that only you could answer. You may never know what it cost me to remain patient, to smile in front of others while my soul wilted from your distance. The world called me strong, but how little they knew of the storm inside. Every time I saw your name and you said nothing in return, it felt like being erased in slow motion. Like watching everything we built turn into smoke, without warning or reason. Do you remember the words I once whispered to you under the stars? Even if the world turns its back on me, I will still be facing you. I meant every syllable. And even now, though I feel invisible in your eyes, I still turn toward you. There is something unshakable about the way my soul responds to yours. You may ignore my words, but my love has memorized every version of your silence. People around me ask why I haven't moved on. They don't understand that love isn't a switch, it's a seed planted deep in the soul. It doesn't die when it's neglected. It hurts, yes, it aches, but it still clings to the light. And though your light no longer shines on me the way it used to, I still believe in the day it will return. Even if only for a moment. Why did you ignore me when all I ever wanted was your truth? Not perfection, not promises. Just truth. I would have accepted your fears, your flaws, your chaos. I would have held them like treasures, because they were a part of you. But you gave me nothing. You locked your world and left me at the gate, holding flowers that wilted and waited. My poetry has become darker. Not bitter, but honest. There's a kind of sorrow that refines a man, that strips him of illusions and makes him see the world in painful clarity. That's what your silence did to me. It did not break me, it transformed me. I am no longer the man who begged for your attention. I am the man who now writes because he must survive the emptiness you left behind. Still, I confess, there are nights I miss you more than I can bear. Nights when I wonder if you ever think of me, if you scroll through our messages or revisit the poems I wrote for you. If your silence is as lonely as my waiting. Or if I was simply a chapter you closed without regret. I ache for an answer I may never receive. But despite everything, I forgive you. Because love that carries bitterness isn't love, it's resentment. And my love for you, though bruised, remains pure. You may have ignored me, but I remember you with tenderness. The woman who once made my heart feel like home. Even if now, I am a stranger standing in the hallway of your heart, forgotten and unseen. Perhaps this poem is foolish. Perhaps writing about you still is nothing more than self-inflicted sorrow. But my pen has a mind of its own. It follows the pulse of my soul, and that pulse still echoes your name. Until I find peace, I will write. Not to beg for your return, but to release the weight of all the words you never heard. So if you ever read this, know that I never wanted to accuse you. I only wanted to be understood. Ignoring me didn't silence my love, it magnified it. And though I may never stand beside you again, know this truth. There was once a man named Hamdan who loved you in silence, waited in pain, and wrote poems in your honor, even when your heart forgot his name. Sometimes, I wonder if your silence was meant to test the depth of my heart. To see how long I would wait, how much I could endure, before surrendering to the hollowness you left behind. But I never surrendered, not to the ache, not to the void. I waited, not because I was weak, but because I loved with strength that even your silence could not shatter. And in that waiting, I found pieces of myself that I didn't know existed, fragile, but unbreakable. There were days when I convinced myself that perhaps you never felt the same. That maybe all the smiles, the gentle words, the moments we shared were just passing winds for you, while I built a world around them. But then I'd remember the way your eyes lit up when I called your name, how your silence was once filled with affection, not absence. Something deep within me still believes you felt it too. Maybe you just didn't know how to hold something so real. I often ask myself, was it fear that made you turn away? Were you overwhelmed by the weight of what we had, the intensity of it, the truth in it? I know love can be frightening when it stares at you so boldly, refusing to be hidden behind walls. But if only you had spoken. If only you had whispered a reason, any reason, I would have waited longer. I would have fought harder. All I needed was a single spark from you to keep the flame alive. But instead, I was left wandering in a forest of unanswered questions. Each one echoing louder than the last. Was I not enough? Did I come too close? Did I ask you to feel something you weren't ready for? The silence didn't give me answers, it only multiplied the ache. And yet, through that ache, I kept loving. Quietly. Painfully. Honestly.